this is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tick-tock until the 8 p.m. deadline for Iran. President Trump warns, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight if a deal with Iran isn't reached. Dominic Carter here with you. I really want to hear from you folks this hour. Emphasis on first-time callers, not repeat callers that call every day. 800-848-9222. The phone lines are open right now. So the media going bananas over what President Trump has said, but why won't you show that same effort in terms of the world wouldn't be in this position if Iran and their leaders were not so crazy for decades? Let's focus on that. President Trump is trying to fix the problem. So what's going to happen ultimately? Here's my prediction. Knowing those nuts in terms of leadership in Iran, they will try to push the president's button in terms of make him do something. And I think at the end of the day, the president will, if it comes to that, blow up a couple of bridges. And that's about it. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen? But here's what we do know for sure. These leaders, if that's what we're going to call them, in Iran, they have been bullying the entire world, conning the entire world for quite some time.
I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication.
And so the president making it clear. Now, many of you will want to focus on it. And I'm going to say again, emphasis on new callers and not repeat callers day after day. We've got to mix this up, folks. I've got to come up with a system. If it means instituting one call a week, I will do it. We are going to start a strong emphasis on different callers again. 800-848-9222. This from Fox News.
Can confirm overnight the United States hit dozens of targets on Iran's Karg Island. This is the island responsible for more than 90% of Iran's oil exports. Fox's Jennifer Griffin says the targets included bunkers, radar stations, and ammunition storage. As this was taking place, the clock is ticking as it relates to that deadline President Trump laid out Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, just about 12 hours from now, before Iran must make a deal with the United States, or the president says he will order strikes against Iranian power plants and bridges. This is what the president had to say yesterday from the White House.
And indeed, that's what the president has said. He's proven to be a man of his word. I don't think we're going to see an entire country wiped out tonight. I don't know. If I had to bet the house on it, I would say these nuts in Iran, they will push President Trump's button and try and force his hand so they can try and get sympathy. But I don't know how you can achieve sympathy when you've been the boogeyman for the entire world for so long. Again, this from Fox News.
I'm sorry, Trey, there's some breaking news on Truth Social.
Yeah.
Ainsley, do you want to read that?
Sure. So Donald Trump just posted this. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran.
President Trump making comments on social media, 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Let's go to Gabrielle, line 5 in Woodmere. Says Woodmere, New York. Good afternoon. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Dominic. First-time caller. I listen to your show every day. Thank you
Wonderful.
for taking my call.
Thank
my
you.
My question is that, you know, there's a lot of conflict in the Middle East, but I want to have a question about Israel and Palestine. Like Palestine, for example, right? Hamas is attacking Israel. They're shooting rockets inside. Israel has the right to defend itself. Why can't the president or somebody of like a higher opinion come up and say, hey, you know, give an example. Canada starts shooting rockets at, you know, USA. What do? At New York, they have long-range missiles. They're shooting. Do we just sit back and sit quiet? I mean, I see all these videos on the internet of people getting educated by other influencers who do stand by Israel, who are Zionists in a way, and at the same time, they are standing, but people are so brainwashed. They don't see that at the end of the day, it's just countries trying to defend itself. Even like the great nation, USA. Donald Trump right now, what he's doing, it's a big thing. I mean, I just don't understand why people are so against this. The far left is against everything. They're, you know, criticizing our president for what he's doing. I mean, they are chanting death to America and death to Israel. They are chanting these things live every single day. And I work with great Iranian Muslims.
Okay, but wait. You said they are chanting death to America, death to Israel. You have to define they. We're in very uncharted times right now. Who is they? Who are you referring to?
Iranians. I'm talking about public crowds that are being funded to go out in the middle of the street.
Right. But key word, being funded to go out in the middle. You can't believe anything that's coming out of Iran right now because leadership is making the masses do what they want them to do. And thank you for the call, Gabrielle. We hope to hear from you in the future. Their only choice is you do as I say or we will hang you. So you can't pay attention to the propaganda coming out of there. And I'm going to be honest with you folks. I would not form my opinions based on videos that you see on social media. There's a reason why there are so many videos there. It's all propaganda for the most part to get you to come from what you may see as this issue over to what they want you to see as it relates to this issue. But again, if I had to bet the house, these nuts, religious nuts, leadership in Iran, they're going to force the president's hand, and he's going to be forced, and he's going to blow up a couple of bridges. But I believe that, and maybe some more infrastructure, but I believe that's going to be it. I don't believe an entire country, citizens and all, will be wiped out tonight. I just don't see that happening. Let's go to Mike. Mike calling from Shirley, New York, line 5. Mike, what's on your mind?
Dominic, what's going on? Big fan of the show. I just wanted to say that I think the message that Trump wrote on social media was meant to be translated, and that their language is limited to a degree. I don't think they have certain words for certain things, and I think civilization was the word that they used just for the translation. I think in my opinion, it's misinterpreted.
Well, I don't know if I would agree with that. President Trump has no problem articulating himself, Mike, and thank you for the call. And remember, he has translators available to him. He has language experts. He knows how to articulate exactly what he wants to get out there. But thank you so much. Remember, this is not just the president of the United States. It's his entire team of experts around him. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Jerry, line 2, Staten Island. Jerry, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, first-time caller. It's kind of interesting to call. You know what? Last week you kind of went off on one of the callers, but I think he kind of proved you're right, because that 7-month-old, nobody's talking about him anymore, right? You really went hard on that guy.
First
and who
of
the
all,
hell is Debbie Lobato?
Okay, so I believe you commented on social media, right? Hating on Debbie, I believe. Oh, you hung up. I wish I could call you what I really want to call you, you nut job. You absolute. Are you in your mommy's basement right now? Did she just give you lunch and cookies and tell you that we are the world, and even though you're 50 years old, that you can amount to anything in life that you want to? What a loser. Stop hating on Debbie Lobato. This nut goes to Twitter and doesn't get a rise out of me, right? These nuts, they do things to try and get a rise out of me. So, like, for example, on one of the YouTube's videos, this guy that calls up, if I say the name Cuomo, if I say Cuomo, he just has an aneurysm. Calls up immediately. His name is Bob in Manhattan. So Bob puts a comment on a video that the social media team put up of me on YouTube, but he's a coward because he doesn't put his name on it. He just states that I go ballistic if anybody denounces Cuomo. I don't give a rat's. Whatever you say about Cuomo. No, Carlos, you ain't got to get ready to press your buttons. I see you. I see your arm jerking to reach over and your eyes opening wide. I see you. I'm not going to say something I'm not supposed to say. I'm under control, I think. And so, Cuomo. Bob, the more you say you hate it, the more I'm going to talk about it, because that's how I roll. And so this person, poor Debbie Lobato, Staten Island, Debbie doesn't bother anybody. Debbie, through the kindness of her heart, and her husband is the man, they invite me over in the middle of summer to go over and eat at their home, to have a meal with them. I think it was a Saturday. Me and Councilman Frank Morano go over there, have the time of my life. I relaxed, which is something I never do. I never get to relax. I relaxed, was there with her friends. And so Debbie will make comments on Twitter. And so, and folks, let me make this very clear. So you don't want me to read Debbie Lobato's tweets. I'm going to read them more now, simply because that's what you don't want. As a matter of fact, I got to take a break, but I'm going to find one right now, and I'm going to read it simply because you don't like it, because that's how I roll. You don't tell me what to do. There are a few people around here that tell me what to do, and they are the Casamatides, the people that own these microphones, and the company president, Chad Lopez. Outside of that, you don't tell me what to do. So I'm going to find a comment, even if it's from a week ago, when I come back to read from Debbie Lobato, because you don't want me to do that. We are coming right back.
This is Roger Stone for American Sovereign Bullion. Since 2020, the U.S. dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to rise. Call 844-272-2428 or go to asbgold.com now to get your free gold and silver guide and learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver delivered to your door or held in a gold IRA today. So go to asbgold.com now. Don't wait for the markets to drop. That's asbgold.com.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Mr. 7%.
And we are back. I'm not naming names. I'm not going to do it. But when we get a call like we just did, and certain comments on social media and attacking this poor woman, Debbie Lobato, someone's behind this. I know who's behind it. I know this individual very well. I'm not naming names. I'm only saying someone that's on a dead-end morning show on another station that's probably ready to kill himself about now because his ego can't take it, is pulling all of these strings trying to cause trouble. Again, there was one person and one person only that I was warned about coming into this shift, into this hour show. And it was that individual and his jealousy. I was only warned about one person to keep a close eye out for. And sure enough, he didn't know that I was listening, driving back from Rhode Island at 3:00 in the morning, and I heard him trashing me on the radio. And then he went to management and said, it's only skits. And then he said to me, Dominic, I'm so tired overnight. I have to do anything to get ratings. I'm so tired. And I kept saying to him, I'm not my colleague, Frank Morano. Listen, homeboy, you're not going to say anything you want to say about me. And that was the beginning of the end, that his petty jealousy, that he couldn't take the fact that my ratings are sky high. And then he came up with his latest scheme. Oh, Dominic Carter went to bleep boot camp. What could he possibly in a million years teach me about anything except for lying, conning, and trying to get over? That's it. And so I'm looking at a tweet from the lovely Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island. The more you focus on Debbie, the more I'm going to read her tweets. Debbie says the only reason President Trump would expand time on the attack on Iran is to save it for their people. He doesn't want to destroy completely the community so innocent citizens will at least have something for themselves. And that's why I'm saying, Debbie, at the end of the day, I don't think that the president is going to wipe out an entire country this evening, a few hours away. Let's see here. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to, is this Valerie in Rockaway Park, New York? Did I say that? Is it Valerie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi. I'm pretty good. I just took a 10,000 step walk, so I feel good.
All right. All right. Hey, wait. How long did that take, Valerie?
It took me about an hour and a half because I'm 75 years old. So
Hey, but you did it. You did it.
Absolutely.
How do you feel proud of yourself?
Oh, no, I do. Yeah, no, I'm very useful,
and
even though
should.
I have a lot of problems.
And I hear it in your voice. Okay, what's on your mind?
Well, we're wondering why do the leftists, they're so against the Iranian war. And I had a little brief Easter conversation with a family member, and I'm the pariah in the family because I'm a conservative. And I bluntly said to this person, do you want Iran to have nuclear power? Do you want them to have the ability to nuke Israel and us? That's not true. That's what they say. It's not true. They don't have any nuclear weapons. I said, security footage, they know it. Security
Right.
Intelligence tells us.
Hey, Valerie, Valerie, I have a hard out in 15 seconds it's a national out that I have no choice on. So what I want you to do is call me back maybe tomorrow or another time and we can expand this conversation. Tell your family members to get over it, Valerie. We are coming right back with former Congressman Peter King.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on Root Metrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance U.S. Second Half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The clock is ticking. We are about to chat live with former Congressman Peter King. But first, the vice president on the situation.
But we feel confident that we can get a response, whether it's positive or negative. We're going to get a response from the Iranians by 8 o'clock tonight. I hope they make the right response, because what we really want is we want a world where oil and gas is flowing freely, where people can afford to heat their homes and cool their homes, where people can afford to transport themselves to work. That's not going to happen if the Iranians are engaged in acts of economic terrorism. So they've got to know we've got tools in our toolkit that we so far haven't decided to use. The President of the United States can decide to use them, and he will decide to use them if the Iranians don't change their course of conduct.
And with us now, as always, former Congressman Peter King. Congressman, thank you so much for appearing. How does this play out? The stakes are awfully high.
Well, they certainly are awfully high. President Trump has brought it to this level. I think it was something that had to be done. If it's not being done now, it had to be done 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 years from now.
Agreed.
And we're in a much better position to control the situation right now than we would be then. I could say the president should have done this over the last 25, 30 years. But anyway, we are where we are. If I had to bet, I think Iran will make some concession, and they will agree to negotiate on others. And based on that, President Trump may move back the deadline. They have to make at least one significant concession. What it's going to be, I don't know. But now that it's gone this far, they can't just stonewall and expect nothing to happen. So it's going to be interesting. Listen, this is it's a dramatic moment in U.S. history. I go back. I'm old enough to remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the world felt it was on the edge of nuclear warfare any moment, and it worked itself out. No, actually, the United States worked it out. But so at a moment like this again, but it's not something that we can avoid. It's not like saying, "Oh, if only Trump didn't do this, or if only we just waited a while." No, sooner or later, this was a day of reckoning that had to come, and I'd rather have it at a time of our choosing rather than the enemy's.
I agree with you 1,000%, Congressman. The fact of the matter is, Iran has been a bully to the world, and ultimately, at some point, somebody's going to have to stand up to the bully, and that's exactly what President Trump is doing. This should have been done years ago. But every American president in recent memory punted and passed and, gave them frozen money from bank accounts and so on. That's Obama, Biden. Oh, I don't even know where to start with him. And now this president is left cleaning up their mess. What do you say to those on the left, Congressman King? And you just alluded to this, that, They blame Trump for all of this. It's Trump's personality. He's unhinged. Look at the profanity he's using. Those are negotiating stances and positions. I don't understand why people don't understand that. He's trying to force them to do the right thing. And those on the left just don't seem, nor do they want to care to understand that.
No, they don't. And first of all, let me just say that this is not the first time that tactics like this have been used. I mean, I know a little bit about Korea. Back in 1953, when President Eisenhower took over, without consulting our allies, without going to anyone else, he sent a message through India to deliver to China that if there was not a ceasefire immediately in Korea, he was going to use nuclear weapons. And that's what brought about the end of the Korean War. Now, that brought us, we didn't even know about it. And it wasn't, he didn't contact NATO. He didn't contact all our allies. He didn't work it out. He just went right to it and threatened face to face with China and nuclear war if the war in Korea didn't end. So this is something that has worked in the past. Again, it should be used more often, I think, going forward. But I think what President Trump is doing is, people talk about this being a unjust war, that somehow there was no imminent danger. Suppose in 1938, Roosevelt and then Chamberlain, who was then the British Prime Minister before Churchill, if they had agreed to move on Hitler and take him out, realizing what was going to lie ahead, and if they'd done it, let's face it, gas prices may have gone up, allies would be yelling, there's no need for this, there was nothing imminent about it, it wasn't going to happen, but the world would have been saved. You would have had literally millions of lives would have been saved, including 6 million Jews. So, I mean, that's That's what President Trump sees here. That it'd be easy for him. Listen, if he was just another politician who wants to get himself reelected or gets his party reelected, he'd be doing all this sweetheart and harmony stuff right now. But instead, he's making a tough decision, which is tough as any can be, and it may lead to, again, more war. It may lead to, but whatever happens now, whatever negative impact there is now, will be nothing compared to what the negative impact would be 5 or 10 years from now. And this also, though, in the end, guarantees a positive impact. The only question is how quickly we can get there.
So, Congressman King, help me with this. The leaders in Iran, the ones that are left, okay, that haven't been eliminated. Why are these folks so darn crazy and militant?
I think because they are crazy and militant. I remember, again, this is not giving away anything classified, but any of the psychological studies that we took show that Putin was not suicidal. Saddam Hussein was not suicidal. Kim Jong-un was not suicidal. The Iranian leaders are suicidal. At least most of them are. And that's what we're up against. That's why all this talk of working out agreements, long-term negotiations, a balance of terror, all of the things that may have worked with Russia, may work with China, will not work with Iran because they look upon death as a blessing. They look upon dying for the cause to be what they're put on earth for. And we're dealing with a totally different mentality. Even like with Hitler. Hitler was not crazy. He knew what he wanted. You could say he was insane as far as what his goals were. But as far as living and dying, he didn't want to die. That's for sure. And he wanted Germany to prevail. Iran, if they stand and fight and die for Islam, that's their goal in life and in death.
Now, I believe these are the same leaders that believe in whatever it is, but 15 virgins. I mean, absolute phonies. And I mean, for those on the left, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. This Trump derangement syndrome. If Trump cured cancer tomorrow, those on the left would find something wrong with it. And I just don't understand. The left, Congressman, I'm lost these days because the left, all they want is to give away our money to people that don't want to work here in the country. And you don't have to be a citizen. You can come here and you can drop the baby and, you can get benefits and you can drop another baby and another baby and another baby and you can just keep on going. And if you've been arrested 5 times, it's not your fault. You can get arrested 15 more times. It's the victim's fault. This is what we get from Democrats these days. And I don't understand. And they go against Trump every chance on every single thing. How do we heal as a country?
I don't know how we're going to do it. I tell you, it's just we have to realize that the left is just they're in a different world from the rest of us. That's why in most of the disagreements, whatever you want to call it, political arguments over the last 65, 70 years, it was a question of how do we get there, not where do we belong. It was a question of tactics, of strategy. Should we do it now or wait later on? Now you have it. Listen, right now when you listen to the media, some of them they can't help themselves. They want to report everything that's quote going wrong in the war. Actually, very little of anything has gone wrong in the war. For instance, when that plane was shot down, it came down last Friday or Saturday, and the media this shows that we don't have control of the air. There have 13,000 missions have been launched, and one came down. I mean, that's not control of the airspace. I don't know what is, but they are so negative. They are so arrogant. They are so anti-American, really, is what it comes down to in many cases. They're self-hating. I know, some people talk about, Jews or anti-Israel are self-hating. I've had that said about Irish and different issues, self-hating. Well, these people are self-hating Americans. They can find everything to criticize. And when they're talking about Iran, the United States, and they're talking about the president and the Ayatollahs, there's like a moral equivalence. It's like two prize fighters in the ring, Ali and Frazier. No, this is good versus evil. I mean, nobody would have said that about Hitler, when it was Roosevelt going up against Hitler, nobody was saying, oh, you know, on the one hand you have Roosevelt doing this, on the other hand you have Hitler doing that. You know, may the best man win. No, Hitler was evil. We had to win. In this case, Iran is evil. We have to win. And I just wish the American media would wise up to that. But maybe they have wised up. Maybe they're showing their true colors. The true colors are they're much more of a one world type. And I think they really resent the fact that the United States is so supreme, that the United States is so exceptional, and is so different from so many other countries, different in the most positive way, that they just can't bring themselves to really stand with the United States in this moment of need.
So again, we are in uncharted territory right now in terms of a deadline approaching 8 p.m. Eastern. So, Congressman King, we believe, I believe you believe that each side is going to save face. But with these nuts, the leaders in Iran, they may call President Trump's bluff and not do anything because they want to be seen as victims on a world stage. What happens then?
I think you would begin to see him taking out many key installations. Again, you know, I don't have the map in front of me that the military would have with the sites. I don't think he would take them all out tonight. And I think they will definitely try to minimize the amount of civilian casualties. But I think there will be some key strikes made, and ones which will be very, very punishing to Iran. I don't want to be needlessly hurting the Iranian people, because in the end, they are victims also, and it'll be very helpful to have them on our side. But we have to look out for America's interests first. So I think the president will take very strong action. What his targets will be, I don't think he would hit all the targets tonight, but I think he would hit some key targets.
Agreed. I think that at worst case scenario, that's what's going to happen. And if there are casualties, don't blame President Trump. Blame those nuts that are in leadership, religious nuts, and if that's what we're going to call them, in Iran. So let me ask you in the time that we have left, Congressman, we only have about 2 minutes left here, and it's back to your telephone calls, folks. So Mamdani comes forth with his racial idea in which he wants counseling for city workers, training, I should say, and dealing with pay parity issues or whatever. And my thing is this. You're hurting the people that you're claiming to help, people of color. You're telling them yet again that you are a lifelong second-class citizen. Here's a crutch, an excuse for you not to get out there and have to hustle like the rest of society. Then, so that was yesterday. Then, today, he comes forth and he opens a new $241 million hospital ward for inmates at Bellevue. Now, of course, it's got to have a basketball court, and it does, as he's pushing to close Rikers. And it's going to provide access to oncology, to cardiology, and neurology, right? And so this is a state-of-the-art facility. And, Congressman, please forgive me for saying this. I don't give a damn about these inmates' oncology, cardiology, nor their neurology. Why are we doing this, spending money like this for people that don't even value their own life?
I would say that's his way of saying that these poor people are there because they've been persecuted by the oppressors in New York City, by the power structure, by the middle-income people, by the evil people who own their own homes, by the evil people who have 1 and 2 jobs, trying to make enough to live in a good neighborhood and send their kids to good schools. They're the evil people. So he's trying to say the real victims here, the ones who New York should be working for, are the prisoners, because they're the ones who have suffered the most at the hands of the evil slave masters, and it's horrible. And one thing about New York, people, every group coming in has had a tough time, some tougher than others, but that's what makes us tough. In the long run, New York has come through. They don't need a mayor coming in giving them special programs, going out of his way, feeling sorry for them. To me, that just shows contempt for the people he's attempting. He claims he really wants to help. So no, his priorities are out of whack, but it's all part of an agenda that he's helping those who need the help because everyone else has oppressed them. And that's the way he looks upon those poor criminals, those poor rapists, those poor muggers, those poor murderers, those poor people who have been persecuted. And he's going to make sure they get the best health care that they can. And in the meantime, we have homeless veterans in the streets.
Congressman King, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to your family. Look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thank you, sir.
You're the man. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. So I want to repeat. Now, my wife, Marilyn, that's probably listening, she would say to me, don't say that, Dominic. Some things don't need to be said. But I need to be very clear, Marilyn, and to the world. And I know, Carlos, we're late for a break, but you're opening up this new ward, $241 million ward for these losers, these inmates. I don't give a damn about their oncology, their cardiology, nor their neurology. Are we clear on that? We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Maybe I should clean up my comments that I just made about the Mamdani opening this new $241 million hospital ward at Bellevue for inmates, complete with a basketball court. And it has oncology and cardiology and neurology, all for the prisoners. So if I don't clean up my comments, I won't have my oatmeal breakfast in the morning. I may not have dinner tonight. So if my wife Marilyn is listening, let me clean it up. All right, honey, I'm gonna clean it up. Let me do it in Dominic Carter style. I don't give a rat's ass what you do in terms of taking care of these losers, these inmates, because that's what they are. 3-time losers, okay? Why don't you stop spending good money after bad? I think that's how the saying goes. Why don't you do something good with the $241 million? Mamdani, why don't you open up a cat shelter, a dog shelter, anything? Give the money to veterans. Spend it on the homeless. No, don't spend it on the homeless because the money will disappear somehow. But you can spend the money. Why should I care that they have special access to oncology, cardiology, and neurology? You should have thought about that before you committed the crime, 3-time loser. Back to your telephone calls around the issue at hand. Let's go to line 2. Adam in Connecticut. Adam, what's on your mind?
Thanks for taking my call, Dominic. Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
Pertaining to what Congressman was talking about, you know, this is how I feel about the situation.
Wait, Adam, your phone is breaking up. How you feel about the situation? Go ahead.
Hey, Dominic.
Yes.
Benjamin Netanyahu is clearly pulling the strings and calling the shots on this.
Oh,
we
come
need
on,
to back
Adam.
out of this war.
Adam. Do you really think that Netanyahu was telling Trump what? Do you really think that?
PAC is a lobbyist group that
Dominic is done with you.
Well, let's go to Joe, line 3, Mount Sinai. Joe, what's on your mind? Joe. Okay, we're moving on from Joe. Let's go to Mike in Westchester. Mike, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Dominic, first time, long time. Love everything you do. Hey, listen, yourself and others got to start calling this media out for the reality here. When our European traditional allies say that they're not backing us and not allowing us to use these bases, the simple reason is that they're afraid of all the Muslims and Islamists that have invaded their country, and that's why they are acting verbally and otherwise in a lack of support for the United States. And unless we start facing that fact that this is now tangible,
Mike, do you really believe that that's the only reason, that's the only thing that at play here? You really believe that?
Okay.
Excuse me?
Give me a reason why they wouldn't.
Okay, well, I don't have time to. There are many factors. I'm short on time. As a matter of fact, I have 30 seconds left in the show, and I have to end it right there, Mike. I'll try and pick this back up tomorrow. But then again, we'll be on to what actually happened tonight in Iran. Folks, born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Donate $11 a month, please, and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T, the number 2, I will be back at midnight with the very latest on this situation. We'll see what happens. I'll be back again at midnight, live.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered. With the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.